G'day everyone. It's been a while because lots of things have been happening. I have moved into a new studio. As we can see behind me here, I'm all set up and ready to go, which is a big relief for me because finally I have my space to store all of my stuff and also just keep everything set up and good to go. Also, I have moved into a new house, and the moving process just takes a long time, and that's just been super exhausting. So that is the reason behind the quietness. And I think I mentioned this before in a previous video. I don't remember exactly, so I'll have to look back and see if I did or not. But here is a new video, a welcome in my new studio, and hello to all my Patreons that are subscribed. Now, I've got a cool one today. I got sent this Leica Flex with a Leica R mount system, and I've got a 135mm and a 50mm that I'm going to go out and take some photos today. It's been a bit crazy rain weather, so it hasn't been so easy to go out and take photos, but I put a roll of Kodak Portra 400 in this camera, and I'm excited to go and see the results. A friend of mine sent this up to me to test out and actually sell for him, but I was really interested to check it out and see what kind of results it's got. I would love to buy it, but I don't have any money anymore to be able to purchase such things. But to test them out and to show you guys the results can give you a little bit of a better insight to what kind of quality one can get from such lens and camera. As I said, it's very exciting because I actually haven't shot on Leica glass before. I had an M8 for a while, but that was with the Falklander lens. This time we get the Leitz Wetzlar camera system, the SL2. Pretty simple camera system. You know, it's got all of your manual bits and pieces as you would expect. It's well built. It's heavy. It's very heavy, but it's all metal and all glass and good quality. Everything seems to crank so far. I had a bit of an issue when I was photographing this, and I'll be showing the pictures, of course, of the results that I got. But I was about to, because I'm selling it, I opened up the back while the film was still in it, so I lost a couple of shots in the beginning of the roll, so it's a bit annoying. Anyway, that's a rookie error, but it happens to the best of us, doesn't it? Luckily they were just a couple of shots in the beginning and not the whole roll or something like this. But yeah, so on this one, just a quick overview. This is the Leitz Wetzlar or Leica Summicron R, and this is a 1.2. No, I lie. It's an f2 50mm. The 1.2 would have been extremely expensive. Now this is in comparison to other lenses that I own and I have tested. I would say that this is very good build quality. This is all metal, all glass, and it's got the beautiful Leica coating on it. What I can say about it is it feels pretty much similar to the Zeiss glass that I have. The only difference being is this one is made in Germany and the Zeiss glass is made in the Cosino factory in Japan. However, the action, the focusing action is all, you know, feels pretty much the same, and the coatings on it are kind of magenta-y purple, so they'd be anti-UV coatings or something like this. But we will see the results when I get the film developed. I'm waiting for an adapter to come, but I'm not sure if that'll come in time before I actually sell this lens. I'm hoping it does come in time because I would like to test this out on one of my Red cameras and to take a couple of stills from the Red cameras as well as a couple of videos and see how the picture exposes. The other lens that I don't have with me right now because it's packed away is the 135mm, and that's a Canadian-made lens. I'll show that up on the pictures just here. And that's a beautiful lens as well, and I'm excited to go and get some shots with that one as well, which I'll take them out today, roll of film, Yeah, see how they all develop if they haven't been all over, if I haven't ruined the film when I opened up the back. But yes, we'll see. Apart from that, I have a couple of little jobs which are on the roll right now, so they're very quite time intensive, so I won't be able to do too many videos recently, or like in this time now, because I had a 6-day production, and I've got it on the screen back here with me, and it's going to take me a couple of weeks to get this documentary done. If I have any cool little interesting updates here in between and I have time to make a video like this, I will do that. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of something else in terms of an update. I had a crazy summer season. It was a lot busier than I expected because, you know, one doesn't expect so many jobs in the corona time, but fortunately enough for me, everything worked out and got a few good paying jobs and lots of cool experience and working with really cool people. I had a concert that I recorded. I actually recorded 4 full concerts with multi-cameras, so different people working on the cameras. So me sitting on the mixing desk with the headphones on and radioing, change the composition here, change the composition there. Really like powerful, cool, fun job there. And that was played on national television. I'll put a link below, but I'm not sure if the Norwegian TV channel can be played in other countries. I'm sure there's a fix, and you crafty little fellas might know how to get around that. Anyway, I've also got pictures on my blog, on my website, which I can share a link here as well, and you can check that out as well. Apart from that, I will come back after I have shot the roll of film and make another little video like this, and we'll go from there. Anyway, that's enough from me right now. I've got to get back to it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers. G'day guys, welcome to the second part of the Leica experience with analog, part 2 of the video. Now, I come back with a little bit of sad news that the whole film didn't come out as I expected it. With this old Leica, it needs to have a bit of a tune-up, and the actual shutter itself didn't work as intended. So probably needs to go in for a service and just an all-around checkup again, just to see if this camera can be used again for analog stuff. But because it's not my camera, I'm just going to give it back. So it's a bit of a bummer because I wasted a film and there were some moments there which I would have liked to have seen, but hey, that's the dangers that we run in there with this one. I did shoot on both the 135 Elmarit and also the Summicron R. This was a lovely little lens. One of the cheaper Leica lenses you can find. You pick it up for about, I don't know, 300 euros-ish. That being said, I'm going to jump straight into the results here. So we'll have a look now at the mistake. Well, it wasn't really a mistake by me. It seems to be of an issue of the camera. And it's only exposing half of the frame, so it looks like that I've had a spooling of the film, or the dragging of the film error. So it was either dragging too far or too little, and we're only getting 1/2 of the frame exposed. So that's kind of the result of most of the shots here. Unfortunately, none of these are really good examples to show you the loveliness of the pictures. Although, you know, okay, they're a little bit street, so street is a bit of a yeah, it was a bit of a waste of film anyway with some of these shots, and it was a waste of film in general, just with all of it. And what I've also noticed is that there seems to be a bit of a processing error from the guys who have developed my film, that there's a running scratch or strike right down my film, so I need to alert them about that as well. However, if we're just to look and appreciate the magic of the, let's say, the ultra dark gradient in this, but the actual exposed image seems to be, you know, fairly soft. I believe this is the 50mm. Yep. at potentially f5.6. I metered everything with a little hand meter just to expose the image. This was an overcast day, so there's nothing extremely over contrasty about these images, but we can see this kind of soft, warm look here. I don't know if this is particularly something of interest of Leica, but yeah, hard to tell with such a general looking image. I'm going to jump along to this looks like to be the 135mm, yes of course, going into the distance of Munkholm, which is a little island just outside here in Trondheim. So this is shot inside my office, through another office out into the fjord. Again, this was like a rainy day, so you don't get to see much detail, but what you do see, I guess it looks pleasant enough. The out of focus areas seem very soft. We've got a little bit of aberration going here on the edges. That's to be expected from a lens from 1977. Yeah, so again, not very interesting images at all, but I just wanted to test it off really quickly while I had it, and see what results I can get here in terms of tonality, and also like just out the overall general rendering of the picture. So that was actually a full frame that I got here. Here we can see, yep, a cut frame, nothing interesting there. So here is a lovely shot actually taken with the 50mm, the Summicron R. This was me actually taking a photo of the lenses and the camera because I was selling them forward for a friend of mine. And yeah, we just get to see the general rendering of the image, and actually it's quite a pleasant look. I haven't had so much experience with the Leica lenses, but there seems to be a bit of a look going on here. If I was to compare them to my Carl Zeiss more modern lenses from the late 90s, early 2000s, they are a lot more sharp and have a lot better render conditioning, but this here has got like a, let's say, a bit of a classic 70s vibe, I feel. I'm really digging a 70s vibe from this. Don't know what it is, but I guess that's just the overall feeling I'm getting from it. But also I shot it with the Kodak Portra 400, and it seems to have come out a grainy image as well from my scanning process, but I think I just had a lower DPI. But we're seeing some of the rendering there and some of the grain in the image as well. But overall, that's quite a lovely image. Nice control of highlights, and we've got some nice out of focus areas here. Again, I used the hand meter, which we can see here, tiny little hand meter just to measure the light, and I went from there. In fact, I think that I took a reading from the actual f-stop taken with this 50mm over here, because I was filming with the Carl Zeiss 50mm, or taking a photo on this camera, and then I just metered accordingly with the SLR analog camera. Moving right over, so here is an out of focus picture of my son. So there seems to be some nice, there was a kid that walked in front here, so we get to see some kind of real focus, out of focus areas here. So there seems to be lovely rendition there. So, and a relatively in focus picture of my son. There seems to be really lovely kind of out of focus areas going on here, which I'm really enjoying. I think this shot was at f5.6 or maybe even f4, I can't remember exactly. And there seems to be also a little bit of this dragging of the film issue here, because we have a totally black area down the bottom and potentially at the top there. I'm not sure if that's actually also part of the building, but I think it also might be just an error of dragging the film over. Anyway, I like the rendering of this here. The highlights, the colors seem to be very, pastel and muted. Overall, it's a beautiful image. Again, we can have a look at some foliage. So unfortunately here, again, the dragging of the image not so good, but actually having a look at the quality of the out of focus areas here and the very soft rendering of the leaves here in the picture. Yeah, the image looks very pleasing actually, and this is the 50mm Summicron, and I don't know, there's a very classic arty look to it, you know. I think very much with the out of focus leaves in the background here, there's something very pleasing going on here. Although it's a very simple and, you know, basic image, it's sometimes good to shoot leaves and stuff like this just to get a bit of a feeling and an idea of color rendition and like overall kind of material rendering. You know, we've got these shiny leaves in all different colors. It's interesting to see that this is coming through on the film through the lens. Again, I wouldn't say it's a total accurate representation of life, but it has got some kind of artistic feel to it, and you know, that's for some and not for others. I like it, but I would choose it for very specific portraits or jobs, you know, depending on what I was going for. Again, I would put this more to like, you know, something of a creative art direction with that, let's say, classic or vintage art look, and I think it's very pleasant. Here, I think I shot this at f8. For some reason I really like, even though that it's a mistake and half of the frame isn't exposed here, it gives like this spooky underworld look here. So we've got this van, we've got my son here, we've got the ominous stormy clouds in the background here. We've got some beautiful rendition going on here. We've got a little bit of maybe UV haze or pollution coming in because I didn't have a UV filter on the lens at all. It's got that classic look to it. I'm getting an 80s feel, but also I think it's probably because of the 80s Volkswagen van in the background here too. But even though a technical mistake, it's still a lovely picture in my opinion. Really warm look to it as well. I think it's really nice. We've got a very soft rendering fall off here with the skin tones, a little bit yellowy because of the actual lighting conditions, because it's a daylight balanced film. Shooting against tungsten, of course everything's going to be like red and yellow, so that's to be expected. But if we're having a look at like the details, the very kind of lack of micro contrast, but still a lovely bit of contrast in some of the areas here, we've just I don't know, it's just something about these out of focus areas that I'd say is unique to the Leica lens itself. Unfortunately, we can't see this picture in its full, but we're getting to see some of the, you know, the characteristics of that lens in its background. Just trying to think of a lens that might be similar to this in a way, and I have a feeling that when I had the Super Takuma 50mm, I think it was, f1.7 or something like this, I get a similar kind of vibe going on here. I think it was of the same era as well. Again, not much, unfortunately, and that's it from those pictures. Really, such a shame that I couldn't show more of the examples from this, but that's what you get with some of these older cameras that haven't been serviced since forever. So we have to watch out for that. And here is a good example of a failure that I lived through and paid for. However, I got at least 3 shots, let's say 4 shots out of a 36 roll. Let's say 5 shots that I really enjoyed, and then some like half shots here. So 4.5 shots out of an entire roll of film that are kind of usable in terms of an example and some experimentation there. Yeah, so I guess that if you're to take anything away from this little experiment, it would be that I guess it's a good idea to check the camera and see if the camera actually spools. I did have a little bit of an issue when rolling the film on in the first place, that I was getting I was feeling that the film was sliding a little bit on the spool, so potentially I should have recognised that in the first place, and then realised either not to run an expensive roll of film through it. But we're actually also looking just at the quality of the lenses, and I think they're beautiful lenses, and I think that they give a nice effect. I'm waiting for, hopefully this week, if not next week, I get my adapter for the Leica R2EF, and I can take the lenses out for emission on the red camera and see what vibes we can get there with a couple of lenses from the 70s. If somebody doesn't buy these from me this weekend, and I get the adapter next week, I'll make a bonus video, let's say, with a couple of test videos of just the feeling of this. And maybe I'll do a little bit of a comparison between, say, a Carl Zeiss, which is a naturally cooler and sharper, more modern lens compared to these ones. But yeah, I hope that was interesting, and just a little insight of another type of lens that you could potentially pick up for yourself and play around with. That's it from me for now, and yeah, I look forward to creating some more lovely little informative videos for you later. Take it easy. Peace.